Hi students, how are you? Um, Nice to greet you and meet you. This is the last day of week one. I read all of your posts, and what I'd like to do is give a little bit of a summary of the class, remind you of the post and when they're due, remind you that paper one is actually due on October 5th, which is week four. Um, and I like to do a little bit of what I call shout-outs, where I sort of extrapolate from the post and the materials. The materials drive everything. My observations, good, bad, or ugly, they're my observations. Hopefully, they can be helpful. Um, and on Mondays, I will start grading discussion boards. Okay, and in the syllabus, they're worth 5 points for each of the weeks that they're graded. It's a 12-week course. Um, it's very similar to a 6-week course I taught several times, 6202, Faculty Evolving Roles, but this is Faculty Curriculum and Academic Community. Okay? Of the 16 students, they're from 7 different states: Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida, Vermont, North Carolina, New York City, and we have 8 from Massachusetts, and we have a nice blend from Eastern and Western Mass. I've lived and worked in both parts of the state, so I know that the rural-urban dynamic sometimes plays out in higher education as it does everywhere else. And we have 4 from Northeastern University. I'm delighted to have you here. And 1 who's a veteran, David. Very nice to have you here, and your perspective is particularly important. Okay, so I just want to remind everybody that the post, primary post, which is the first question, is due by late in the evening, Wednesdays, and the secondary post to 2 students is due on Saturday in PM. Okay, and it's very important. And part of my grading of this is that you demonstrate in the post that you're engaged with the materials. This is true not just in the primary post, but in the secondary post as well. So, for example, if you say, I agree with you, so and so, I liked what you said, but draw from the materials, because I want to know that you are relating in the context of what we're all reading and studying and commenting on. Okay, so that's very important, and it's part of the grading materials. Um, so in terms of the discussion board question this week, which was on the importance of academic freedom and shared governance, and it asked whether or not your opinion has shifted, um, and how important you feel the concepts are to you as a learner. So briefly, I'm going to cover the comments of about 6 or 8 students. Um, I'm going to start with Alexandra, who said she quickly realized that the concept of both academic freedom and shared governance has many moving pieces and parts. And there are many threats to the faculty members, and that's certainly very, very true. Um, and then in a secondary post to David, she observed another part of shared governance was that often faculty members don't always appreciate the responsibility of shared governance. And I can tell you from my own direct experience, there's a great bit of truth to that. Andrew talked about in the field where independent, strong voices are so valued, he finds that academic freedom is key to be able to take a step back and view situations from a different lens. And the reading really spurred him to reflect upon that. And Schrecker is an incredible writer. Um, and David, in a response to Alexandra, he said that he enjoys it when a teacher has a view that he disagrees with, as it offers him an opportunity to speak his mind in response to his or her view. And I certainly concur with that. And many of you have had that in your own educations. Hopefully you'll experience it here as well. And Glenn offered what I thought was an interesting thing. He said that the concept of academic freedom is malleable. And he talked about the issue of racism, and that a key component of racism is not your feeling or your ability to hate, but how you can then act on that hate. And academic freedom ends from the point where a professor can wield the power behind his or her thoughts and beliefs to the detriment of the student. And that's really a very, very valuable point. Kimberly confessed that her understanding of these issues definitely shifted once she finished the week's readings, and thank you for telling us that. I know some of these readings might be a little shocking, but these are good thinkers that you're being exposed to. And that's really one of the major purposes of the course. And then Stefan, he said that his views on academic freedom have not changed from the materials, which is quite interesting. In a secondary post, he said he is convinced that academic freedom has shifted its focus largely in response to accountability. And I will say there's a great deal of truth to that. And Schrecker, one of your authors, as she so states, worked for many years for the AAUP, the American Association of University Professors, and comes with a very distinctive viewpoint on this issue, this topic. Sumana, on both academic freedom and shared government, says both are needed to maintain an equilibrium, and that a disruption in one has the potential to throw the entire system out of whack. And certainly that is true. There are many, many different, how shall I say, balance points in higher education among these two topics. And Davina had a post in response to Michael on the issue of faculty tenure, which I thought was quite salient. She said she believes it's an old tradition that could use some improvement. For example, women often face a dilemma during the years they are up for tenure. This usually falls at the age where the women would tend to have children, and they feel they have to choose between tenure or becoming a mother. If women were thought of when the system was designed, I doubt the standard practice would be the same. That's a nice observation, and you know why I like that is because when tenure was developed, and 100 years ago this month, in 1914, women didn't even have the right to vote. Think about that. And their rates of participation in higher education was minimal at the best. And many things have changed since then, so that's a very salient point indeed. Okay, that's my shout-outs this week. It gives you a flavor of what I like to do. I'm in the course with you. I think it's a great course. Please stay focused. And we're moving on to week 2, which is faculty and work, the changing conditions, and the readings again continue to be excellent. If you have any questions about anything, please contact me. I'm very delighted to be in this class with you. Take care.